Hey, what's up, my little tarantellas? How are y'all doing today? What's up, everybody? How are y'all doing? Rochelle, thank you so much for joining. What's up, Josephine? You guys, we have to talk. What is going on, honestly, with the Real Housewives of Atlanta? You guys, this episode was amazing. I just want to start off by saying I'm going to take you guys, if you guys are new to my channel, let me take you through my reviews. First, I reviewed the show. Then of course, I tell you what happened in the show. Then we start doing an in-depth psychoanalysis breakdown because, baby, it is that serious. And what else do we have to do? All right. But I just want to say, this was one of the funniest episodes I've seen. Fatum is a breath of fresh air. I love her forever. Sheree is a dum-dum, but I love that lovable dum-dum. Literally, Sheree's reality TV gold. Candy is bringing it this season. Drunk Kenya is the best version of Kenya. Like Candy said, this is the real Kenya. Marlo is a dark cloud, and we got to talk about what happened between her and her nephews. Sonya, I get her because Drew gets on my last nerve. Drew's a waste of a peach. I don't care what anybody says. I know I'm always on the thing, and I was feeling sorry for her with the Ralph mess, but I'm back to thinking, Drew, you're an actual waste of a peach from top to bottom. You guys, let's get into this. Well, the only thing this episode needed is more Moneta, but Moneta might have been on her honeymoon because I did see on her Instagram she got married. You guys, this cast is magic. This cast is everything. They do not need to add anyone or change a thing. Even these low ratings, I don't understand why people don't realize when a show has low ratings, because I know I go through this all the time. If you disappoint me too much as a show, I'll literally be like, I'm not watching this mess anymore. Last season was so bad, just so bad across the board. I think it turned a lot of people off, and a lot of people are done with the show. But I do think as the season goes on, it's going to get really, really good. Okay, let's go through everything that happened, and then we're going to do an in-depth analysis. And of course, I'm going to drop the call-in link so we can chop it up and talk. All right, first of all, Sheree being like, so Sheree's sitting there, and she keeps saying her line, I feel like he robbed me, like he robbed those people. We get it, right? Sheree's daughter, she goes and talks to her daughter. Her daughter has a podcast. You guys, I'm starting a podcast. Podcasts are the place to be. I said, good for Sheree for putting her daughter on and also giving her daughter that spotlight. Now, we can say a lot of things about Sheree and her questionable choices and whether or not she pays her bills. But one thing I'll always say about Sheree, she is super, she's an involved, loving mother. And I know you're like, oh my God, everybody can be an involved, loving mother. I get it, but not on reality TV. On reality TV, it really is up for grabs, right? Drew. What? So anyway, we go to Drew, right? Drew starting mess. So Sheree, we're going to get into deep detail. I just want to take y'all through the gist of the episode, and then we'll come back, right? Sheree is crying about the jailbird that she married, that he got out of jail. Now he wants access to all the women in Atlanta, not just the ones that were dumb enough to be writing him love letters while he was in jail. She goes to her daughter's radio show. Her daughter literally gives her a pep talk about you're loved, you're this, you're that. And then it cuts to Drew. Drew is making a storyline by starting over anything. But at this point, it's becoming annoying because you could just be like, achoo. And Drew will be like, what you mean achoo? And you're like, Drew, will you calm it down? Like, damn, at least let me get 3 sentences out before you jump down my neck. Then we go to Kenya and Sonya. Sonya comes over. I actually like Sonya in this cast. I'm still trying to see where she ends up, but I like the energy she gives. And I like that she literally flows with everyone except Drew. But as you see with Drew, no one flows with Drew because Drew won't let it, because she thinks that if she keeps having a moment, remember she was at the reunion, all that, and she's like, yes, she thinks if she keeps having a moment for producers, then it's equivalent to having a storyline, and it's not. And I'm back to thinking that Ralph and Drew's whole thing is also made for TV mess. Actually, I'm back to not caring. Kenya and Sonya come over, they chop it up, they kind of grow closer. Kenya is in a good place. That therapy is working, mama. You know how when you get out of a bad relationship and those first few, there's 3 stages of relationship. One, when you break up and you miss them or think there's a chance of getting back together. Then it's that middle when you realize that you're not getting back together, but and you all in your feels and you blame yourself. You don't know. You're just in your head. But there's that third part, especially when you get out of a toxic relationship. And I think that's what Kenya's in, the part she's in, where you get out and you are released. You feel so light. You feel so free. You feel so happy because that dark cloud that had your soul in a chokehold has you finally, it was an exorcism. It was an exorcism. And now you're back to being free and bubbly and whatever. That's right. Therapy works, right? I will say one thing. Are we going to talk about Drew's new face? Now, don't get me wrong. It looks really, really pretty. She looks like LaToya from Destiny's Child. Her face, her new face looks super pretty. I'm talking about the one in confessionals. But are we going to talk about how her new face don't move at all? At all. Like, you went too far with the Botox. You went too far with the fillers. You look pretty sitting there. From pictures, you look like LaToya from Destiny's Child. But girl, let that Botox settle, right? Let that Botox settle. Marlo. So let me jump over to Marlo's house. Marlo is sitting there with her talking in confessionals. The nephews are just so bad. I don't know what to do with them. Oh my God, God help me. Meanwhile, they're like, hello, Auntie Marlo, maybe make you dinner. What? I was looking at those boys like, one, where are those boys bad? Where? I don't see it. I don't see it. You're on TV. Yeah, you like rolling your eyes, but what teenager doesn't? Listen, I was raised that like, if you teach your children to be too submissive, you're teaching them to be somebody else's, like, I don't want to say the word slave, but you're teaching them to submit to the world. Sometimes kids need to be free thinkers, right? She's talking about this a third time. Your teacher said, ada. And he was like, no, I told the teacher, you don't get paid to argue. And she's like, you're not supposed to be doing that. And as somebody that used to get smart with teachers, I literally said, that teacher's just hating. And let me tell you something. When I would, and the teacher would pick on me, because you know me, I'm a chatty Cathy. My mom had my back and told the teacher, your job is to find a way to teach her. If she's not paying attention in class, that looks badly on you, because you're supposed to be the one that's getting her attention and making her little mind sing. And if you can't get her attention, then you need to literally go back to your practice 1, 2, and 3 with the teachers and make that work. Now, mind you, I would get like I would get it when I walked in the house, but in public, my mom always had my back. I don't think that Marlo, and I'll get into this later, but I'm dead serious. I don't think that Marlo realizes, because she talks about like Black men and this and that, and you don't have a child, but I think when you're a mom, and I remember my mom having my back, there's a lot of teachers, Black, white, Puerto Rican, Asian, whatever, where when they see a child, especially a Black child, you're automatically a problem. You could just be sitting there minding your business and they're just like, oh, I don't like this. You got an attitude. Now, I'm not saying that's what's happening, but I am saying that your kids seem like regular teenagers. The fact that so Marlo then proceeds to take her camera phone and literally go into a teenager's room. What teenager's room is clean? Truth to God, when the maids aren't here, you might think my room looks like a crack house, right? The maids stay coming in and out. But honestly, what teen's room looks clean? What teen doesn't have a mess in a room? I know I did, but you literally took a camera phone and put it on Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is a nationally syndicated show. Everybody watches this. If your friends don't watch it, their mamas watch it. Maybe even their dads too. It is nationally syndicated. You really went into those boys' dirty room and taped their dirt and put it on, gave it to the producers on Real Housewives of Atlanta. That's the first thing when I was like, Marlo, you are evil incarnate. And then you were like, I don't know if I need to start locking my doors, because they borrowed your laptop. These are your nephews. They live in the same house. They didn't steal your laptop. They borrowed your laptop and you found it underneath their clothes in their room. It's sick to me that you would even accuse your teenage nephews of stealing your laptop and say you have to start locking your door. Also, and I'll say this, I don't know what's wrong with Marlo, but mama, how much is a housekeeper? $20, $30 an hour? You got on head to toe Gucci, head to toe Louis Vuitton. You can't literally spend an extra $800 a week to have a maid come in 3-4 times a week. I'm being serious. I'm not in head to toe Louis Vuitton, and please believe the maid is very familiar. And when I can't upgrade, well, I'll never have a live-in maid. I don't believe in those. But literally, why don't you have the money for a maid service to actually come? You sitting here arguing, teaching them how to learn, but it seems like she's more concerned with making them struggle. And just, we'll talk about that later, because I know there's a lot of people that think like the only way your kids learn is to struggle. That's not true. Struggle breaks them and gives them issues, just like Marlo has issues. I think what people are really trying to say is they want their child to learn the value of hard work. But you can learn that without being in the gutter, like acting like you don't know when your next meal is coming from. We did that because we didn't have any choice, not because we want our children to go through that. But let's get into it. So then we get into Marlo with Sheree and with Sonya. Marlo is literally, and I will say Marlo's telling the truth. I actually ordered furniture while they were filming. And I'm used to walking into like CB2 or listen, I'm not getting a design. Well, okay, I will, but I'll go into like CB2, West Elm, places like that, right? Because I'm not paying $80,000 for a couch. That's stupid to me, right? So I do remember when I went in there and I got some new furniture pieces. Their new CB2's line is really, really cute this year. They literally were saying it was going to be like 5, 6, 8 months to get stuff. So there is something with the supply lines. She is telling the truth. But again, you're sitting there, you're filming, you're doing all this stuff, accusing them. Then you're trying to say you fear for them, but then you're kicking them out. Let me tell y'all something. And I'm not going to reserve my judgment. That's why you guys hear. I feel like Marlo's using those boys as a storyline. I don't think that Marlo is into being a Monty. I think she's doing it for a storyline. I really honestly do. You cannot tell me 2 regular teen kids that are doing things that teenage people do when you are saying you were a foster child and you went through all this pain and you're on the street and you kick them out for what? For what? For having a dirty room? Man, Marlo, please. I wouldn't even kick my dog out. I wouldn't even kick my dog out for messing up. I might be mad. I might be annoyed. I might even scream and yell, but like, you're a foster kid. You know what it feels like to be put out of people's houses. You know what it feels like to realize the people that are supposed to love and protect you, you can't trust them with your emotions. So the fact that you actually did this to your nephews, it's giving storyline. I hope I'm wrong, but it is giving storyline. It's giving storyline, but we're going to get into that later. So then Sheree has a party, right? I'll say one thing about Sheree. She might not pay her bills, but mama, she has a good eye for entertaining and decorating. If I was Sheree, I would actually start a candle line. I would start a linen line, not that damn Pampered by Portia shit that look like colors from Walmart. Because Sheree has an eye for the way she dresses and her aesthetic. Say what you want about Sheree. It's very elegant. And even the way Sheree put that event together, it's always very elegant. I feel like with the right packaging, Sheree could sell the reed diffusers. She could sell candles. She could sell like luxury sheets, but she could even have packaging that looks very sophisticated and very upscale. I do think she could do something. Sheree has an eye for decorating. So they're getting ready for the party, right? Fatum. I love Fatum. Hurricane Fatum comes in, right? And she literally lets it be known that she hired a private investigator and that Drew and Ralph both have aliases. And one of Ralph's aliases is the name Danielle. Drew tries to play it off with a dumb like, no, that's my assistant. But what's your assistant name doing on actual real estate documents, actual documents? Kenya had a good point. Kenya says, so that's how Ralph got away with Tampa. He checked it under the name Danielle. So now we see that Drew and Ralph are scammers. Like Candy said, right? Candy was the one that said it. She said, Ralph is a bit like Tommy from Martin. If you guys don't know Martin, Tommy was a character that always around, always looked like he had money, always this, and he'd always be like, all right, y'all, I gotta get out of here. I gotta go to work. But nobody ever knew what Tommy did, and everybody said that Tommy doesn't have a job. Basically, Portia is marrying Tommy from Martin, right? Now, so that's what he said about Ralph. How Ralph had money, nobody knows what he does for a living. And I know Ralph said he's like IT, information technology does like, but then again, that's not true. Information technology does pay a lot, but we don't even know what company he works for. So I don't know. I really don't know. You want my opinion of Ralph and Drew? I think that for whatever reason, Ralph and Drew live off of Drew's residuals, right? Remember when Drew was popping, when she was in LeBron's James face? Side note, because listen, I just have to say this. Remember when Drew and her sister were going out of their way to convince everybody that she used to mess with LeBron James, and we had to be reminded that Drew used to be on and popping? And I said, but I would be embarrassed by that, because how did you could have been Savannah James, the Savannah James, ruling over all the NBA wives, looking at your new Italian villa, dressed in head to toe before the season comes out Gucci, just cuz. And instead, you sitting there being played with Ralph Peanut Head Pittman. I wouldn't even admit I messed with LeBron. I wouldn't want y'all to know how far from grace I fell, right? So then they're on the party. Drew starts with Fatum, didn't even say hello, acting real. Drew is always trying to get a moment, and it gets on my nerves. Somebody well, we're going to get to that, right? So then, they're all this. Fatum lets it be known that she got the receipts for Drew. Then it's Marlo and Candy come and sit down. And this is when I was like, thank God, because Sheree's one of those friends where I don't feel like she tells you the truth. Because when Sheree sat down in the scene earlier and talked to Marlo about, kicking those boys out, you know damn well that Marlo was dead wrong and you ain't have no excuse to chip. But Sheree was like, well, you did it for you, right? Okay, fine. Candy was actually real. Candy said everything I was saying. Marlo sat down and started to play her victim card. I'm tired, Candy. I'm tired. And Candy, being a human being, was like, wait, pause. Where are the boys at? Where are the boys at? Because that's when I first heard it, I was like, but where are the kids? What? And Marlo kept trying to like, oh, they were my sisters. But anyway, I've been drinking a lot. I've been doing this. I've been doing that, right? Then she had the nerve to try to say, like when you and Kenya were arguing with me, now you're trying to blame arguing with Kenya for you kicking your nephews out. Have you lost your mind, Marlo? Have you lost your mind? Again, the way Marlo was like, acted like it was given storyline. Like, did you ever plan to really keep your kids, or did you think it would be cute to play Monty and it's something you offer the producers as what's going on in your life? But now that you feel like you got your peach, you're sick of those kids being around, you're sick of them dirtying up your house, you're sick of them borrowing your laptop without asking, you're just sick of sharing your space, because at the end of the day, you've been living alone so long. And I do believe that when people live alone, it's not that it makes them selfish, but you become so used to like where you left stuff being there, that when somebody comes and disturbs your peace, it grates on your nerves. I get that. But these aren't somebody. These are two little boys that you vow to protect, right? So anyway, right? Candy's looking at Marlo like, girl, stop it. Like, why? Like, she even said, but you were trying to give them a better life. So why would you kick them out? And they love you and like this and that. She's concerned for the kids. Marlo keeps making excuses on why she did it. My back, my neck, all this stuff. You don't know how hard it was for me. But if that's the case, Marlo, these are like, you can't even kick a dog that easy. And the fact that you came around and thought people were going to give you bigs ups and give you a pity party because you finally put those little boys out. No, not even that. You need a 30-day break. Let's think about this. Marlo, you grew up in the foster care system. It's very important with children that they realize that they can trust their emotions to the adults. Literally trust their emotions with the adults that are tasked to care with them. The fact that, do you know how much, and listen, this isn't even a drag, but we need to talk about this. Do you know how much damage Marlo did to those boys, that their aunt, their Monty, the one that claims to care for them so much and all this other stuff, literally got fed up when things got tough? You put them out like they were an option and not your flesh and blood and not the people that you wanted to be a Monty to. Again, do you know how much damage that did to those boys' psyche? No, I'm not saying that she can't come back from that. But when she was talking to those boys earlier, talking about something, do you think you need to go to therapy? This is one of the things that you have to go to therapy for, right? Hey, thank you. Thank you, Detroit Trips. You said keep up the best commentary. Thank you. I'm literally just going through the episode real quick, and then I'll drop the call-in link so we can chop it up and actually discuss. You guys can actually call in, and you don't need to have your camera on. We can just do audio if you just want to call in. We're going to do like a talk show, all right? So, yeah, I just don't understand where it's like, Marlo, you literally gave those babies what they're going to have to go to therapy to unpack. And the sick part, here's the thing. Sometimes when you hurt people because you don't know. You don't know. You don't know. You honestly don't know. I do accept in life that sometimes you just don't know. You might make fun of somebody like for like being self-conscious and you don't know you hit a soft spot. And you're just like, if you thought about it, maybe you were being insensitive, but you didn't realize. Those are things that like apologies work for, where it's like, hey, I didn't realize, I'm so sorry. If I had known, I never would have. That wasn't my intent to even try to hurt. And to be honest with you, I don't even really feel like that. I was just making like a funny joke. And again, I'm not saying that's right, but there's a special type of yuckiness that comes from, it's almost like if somebody's been in an abusive, you've been in an abusive relationship and then you dog out and treat someone bad that's going through abusive relationship. It's more evil because you actually know what they feel. You know what they're going through. Marlo knew, and you still put them out, and then you videotaped their dirty room on national TV. I will say this once. Y'all can call me like, y'all, you just dirty. Yeah, when I was a kid, my mom did not teach me. Well, maybe she tried to teach me to clean up after myself. It never stuck. I am a very disorganized, very, very, very disorganized person. If you walked into my room as a kid, you might even say like, God, you are so dirty. There's like chip bags under your bed. There's socks from 8 years ago over there. As I got older, thank goodness I can employ housekeeping that would actually come in all the time and clean the home. But to me, that's such an invasion of privacy to humiliate two boys you said you love by showing everybody how dirty their room is. And not even that, let's talk about why their room's dirty. Their mom is in jail, calling them, being belligerent. They're going through all this stuff. So just like adults, when we get our heart broken, when we get upset, when we start going through shit, our house starts looking crazy. If you can't afford to have a housekeeper in, why can't you understand like maybe these boys' dirty room is a manifestation about the emotional angst they're going through? And instead of taping it and giving it to producers and nationally humiliating them because you want to show what you go through. And honestly, I feel like anybody with kids was looking at Marlo like, Marlo, what you go through? So the kids aren't cleaning their room. Okay. So the boy's talking back to his teacher. Okay. Like, where is this crazy demon child that you just can't handle? You act like he's literally punching his brother. They're punching each other in the face, stealing money, going to buying crack, setting the house on fire. Where is this thing the boys are going through that you just can't take? That doesn't look like anything more than just two well-behaved kids that are going through something and have a dirty room. Anyway, I'll move on. As a part of the dirty room club, I felt that. Like, I can just imagine my mom, she had a video camera. Anyway, let's see. Candy asked all the right questions. Okay. So then Fatum and Drew get into it, where Drew tries to check Fatum, and Fatum was like, I had a private investigator look into you. And Drew tries to play it off. They're all sitting. So sorry, I forgot one thing. So if you guys haven't watched the episode, they didn't have an episode where they're doing nude drawing and everybody's making jokes. And Candy's like, before you think anything, I did not do it. But it actually looked kind of fun. They were drawing like little wee weeds and all this stuff. And, it was like good, not PG-13, but good adult fun. It didn't get raunchy like the bachelor party when Portia took it to another level. But Drew, for that matter, we keep saying Portia took it to another level, but Drew was there right there. Anyway, it all went like that. So anyway, so after the drawing and having fun and drinks, Kenya was drunk off her butt and she was so light and so free and so fun. But honestly, I always see that about Kenya, but I loved it this time that she didn't let Marlo get to her. We're going to talk about that, but she just was like so lighthearted. So anyway, they're sitting down. Drew, they're all saying what they're grateful for. What are you grateful for? What are you grateful for? What are you grateful for? You know, it gets to Drew, and of course, Drew has to kill a vibe because that's kill a vibe, Drew. She had to kill the vibe, and she's like, "Oh, well, everybody at this table," and everybody was just like, "Oh, here we go." So Drew then tries to start with Fatum. Fatum comes with her little handy dandy checklist and was like, "And guess what? I investigated you." And Drew was like, she has the corniest clapback. She was like, do I have a stalker? You're giving stalker vibes. No, girl, she got your number, hussy. Ain't no stalker in the building, right? Fatum, but you know what? I love Fatum's clapback. Fatum said, that's right, B, and I'm going to find out more. I would have slid into a puddle of happiness like, yes, Fatum, you better go. So Fatum, oh, hey, Just D show. Just D said, Marlo, how are you their muntie and put them out knowing how it feels to be abandoned as a foster kid? Was she using them for a storyline? Just D, I completely agree. Thank you so much for the super chat. Just D, I completely agree. It's giving storyline. And I don't want to say that, but after seeing this episode and the argument, unless maybe there is an arc of redemption. Maybe Marlo didn't really put them out. Maybe Marlo putting them out was the fake storyline, and the boys knew that it was going to happen. Listen, that's the only thing that can redeem her. That you didn't really put them out. You made up putting them out so that, and they knew, like, babe, this is for a storyline. You got to go. Like, I just want to make some drama. Maybe that's actually what happened. So we don't need to be too angry at Marlo. I hope this is a fake storyline. Her putting them out. Anyway, Fatum was like, so anyway, Kenya's like, wait, so you have an Elliot? No, so Ralph has an Elias named Daniel. I'm sorry, Ralph has an named Danielle, right? And she was like, what did she say? She was like, what? I'm not even answering that. You know how Drew get, right? Meanwhile, I almost forgot, while they were at the painting thing, Drew tried to start with Sonya. Drew came up to Sonya and was like, yeah, you was talking about me. And Sonya was like, what are you talking about? And Drew said, Ralph told her, we're not busy. We can't do this. We can't do that. And Sonya was like, Drew, I'm not doing this. And she did the right thing. Sonya's a newbie, but I love the fact that her personality, she was like, and that's a wrap. Like, I'm not engaging. Drew, this is so stupid. Drew, this is stupid. And Drew tried to have her moment with Sonya, and Sonya left her gasping for air. And everybody needs to start doing that with Drew when she tries to have a moment for the producers. The fact that she said, well, y'all try to act like y'all busy, but y'all ain't really busy, right? That was such an offhand comment. It was, and we all know what Sonya meant by that. But the fact that Drew tried to turn it into this big thing, that lets you know how much Drew doesn't have a storyline. Drew's storyline is listening to you say 1, 2, 3 things and be like, hey, do you mind passing me that water? No, right there. What you mean right there? The what? What you mean? What you mean? So now I'm an ummer. That's what time Drew is on. Like, girl, you were just trying to have a moment over any and everything, but just let it go. And for whatever reason, Drew thinks Sonya's the one, probably because Sonya's the newbie and she knows Kenya and Candy and Sheree and Marlo will chop her right up, and Fatum, put her name on the list, will chop her up and send her back. So what did she do? She literally decided to start with Sonya, right? And which is sick because Sonya's the one that was really, really nice to you and actually treated you with respect. But now we see why Ralph don't treat you with respect. Okay, so Fatum tells Sheree, Fatum is so fun. Fatum tells Sheree, listen, like, these are these incense, right? And Candy was like, huh? Because the funny thing about Candy, she is a connoisseur of all erotic arts. You know, Candy loves being an erotic connoisseur. So when Fatum was telling her about these are these incense, and the smoke is supposed to exercise the energy of your past lover out of your vajayjay, Candy was like, I've never heard about this, but let's see if it worked. Candy literally was in a university like, does there need to be a candy-coated incense? You know Candy was thinking that. Don't be surprised if Candy comes out with candy-coated coochie incense, right? So anyway, everybody's having fun. Everybody's laughing. the thing is, one, I thought it was cute with Fatum that you are showing people your culture. Again, this is not a religious experience. It's just something, like the way we meditate. Like, if you're showing something that in your culture is done, but in like a fun way, and maybe if it's a serious way, it doesn't matter. I mean, for God's sakes, right? But you're showing us stuff super fun. Sheree's hopping over the smoke. Then Kenya starts doing out and drunk Kenya is so funny and so lighthearted. And I'll say one thing about Kenya. I think Kenya looks amazing, but when she laughs, all the stress that is on her face just disappears, and she just looks so free and like Kenya that I remembered from the first season of Real Housewives. Like, do you know what I'm saying? When Kenya is drunk and laughing, all the stress that's on her face melts away, and she is just glowing alive. Like, I kept looking at Kenya like, wow, you look so beautiful, free, and just lighthearted right now. And I love that for her. Just so gorgeous, right? Gorgeous. Drew and Marlo. Everybody, you see in the background, everybody's hopping around, everybody's laughing, everybody's joking, doing everything and just like having fun. And then Drew has the nerve to be like, this is getting into dark arts, black magic. Girl, this is not Harry Potter. If somebody can light incense and meditate, somebody can hop over. Like, the fact that you tried to turn it into something evil and dark, I also thought that was like, and I'm not even joking, you know how like a lot of Christians, whether, and nothing against Christians, but I mean missionaries, right? Because Drew's in some like very religious, it's almost given cult. But some missionaries try to say that like other people's cultural preferences and their cultural things are like dark arts and magic, as a way of disrespecting someone's culture, where you can embrace Christianity but still have your culture and your traditions. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, this wasn't a religious experience. It was just like something to get the energy going. It was like, anyway, Drew had the nerve to call that ceremony dark arts of black magic. Girl, shut up. And then Marlo is like, what's going on? This is like from the flea market. I don't understand what Marlo's problem is. I mean, part of me does, but part of me doesn't. The fact that Marlo is so negative all the time, the fact that she got something smart to say about everything, the fact that you could see Marlo getting more, and Kenya was drunk, running around free as a bird, being like, I'm leaving. They chased her around the house. Kenya was laughing. She was literally, everyone was like, we love this Kenya, this stay forever. The fact that the more free Kenya got, the more lighthearted, the less argumentative, the more the stress started to leave her face and her body, and you saw her light shining through, the angrier Marlo got. Marlo was sitting there, and I've never seen that happen in real life, but Marlo was sitting there. The happier Kenya got, the more angry Marlo got, and the more she kept trying to steal Kenya's joy. What is this beef with Kenya that you cannot stand Kenya being happy? Is it because you and Kenya are so much alike, not personality-wise, but in the way that you guys both had very complicated relationships with your mother? Both of you had to do your own thing, but somehow, I don't understand it. Like, even like there was a scene where they were like, come on, let's cheers to everything. And they're like, cheers, and everybody was happy. This is after Marlo and Drew was done hating on the sidelines because the girls were laughing around and joking. And it reminded me of old Real Housewives where it's so much fun. And you really do want to be there because it seems like you're actually laughing and joking with your girlfriends being silly. And Marlo better watch that because like the vibe of this is serious, but like her and Drew are too much dark clouds. Now, that said, the cast is good right now. I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't add anybody else. But if I was Marlo, I would be like, just be careful about that. But I guess Marlo knows what she's doing. I will say this. Everybody was having fun, clinking cheers. And then like Marlo out the blue was like, you know what? And the thing is, Marlo's reads are so dumb. They don't land. I see why Kenyon can look past them because they don't land. But on the other hand, it's like, what is wrong with you? If I was Marlo, if I was at that group, because I'm that person where I'm like, can y'all Stop. I'm just trying to eat some good food, dance, and have a good time. I don't have time for all this drama. Can you stop? People annoy me when they try to start drama around me when I'm having fun. Even if they're starting with me, you can try to start a fight with me. I'll be like, oh my God, I don't got time for this mess. Just trying to chill. God, why are you mad? Get a drink. Get some chicken. Leave me alone. Right? So Marlo says to Kenya, you know what, Kenya, I just want to say, I love this. I love this for you. And I already knew she was going to come with something. And Kenya was like, thanks. Right. And she's like, and it's so good. Because Kenya during this dinner had been like, wait. When everybody started arguing, Kenya said, I just have one question. And they're like, what? And she was like, is my wig straight? So anyway, later on, Marlo captured on that. And Marlo was like clinking the glass. And she was like, I think it's so good, Kenya. Used to be so self-conscious that you wear wigs, but I'm glad that like you realize you're telling everybody you wear a wig. And Kenya's like, yeah, okay. And she's like, because I'm happy everybody wears wigs, even Kenya. And Kenya was like, yeah, get used to it. I'm gonna have more wigs on. You couldn't kill Kenya's move. So then she was like, no, like, I'm glad. No, I'm just saying, like, before when you wouldn't realize you wore a wig, it just showed you at low self-esteem. So I'm glad your self-esteem's higher. I'm glad you finally have some self-esteem. And Kenya was like, yeah, well, get used to it because I am the moment. I'm the moment. And she starts strutting around laughing and everybody's cracking up and Kenya's getting more attention. And then Marlo says, you're the moment. Not to your baby's father, not to Mark, not to your baby's father. You're not the moment for him. Yeah, you think you're something, but you're not the moment to him. And I looked at Marlo and said, Marlo, you ain't seeing heaven. Why are you talking about Mark right now? But again, I see why Kenya ignored her because the reads are just so surface level. Marlo does not have great insight into what truly makes people tick. She doesn't. It's very, very surface. Or you know what? Actually, let me tell you, because I might be wrong about that. But I will say this. For whatever reason, Marlo doesn't have, maybe she's jealous of Kenya, hates Kenya. I don't know. But I think Marlo's dislike of Kenya stops her from seeing Kenya as a true person. Because when you see somebody as an actual person, you can also see where their soft spots are. Marlo keeps projecting her image of who she thinks Kenya is. And that's why every time she tries to land a blow on Kenya, it never turns out the way she is because it's like, you still don't know where Kenya's soft spots are. Like, I don't even know Kenya. And it's like, people are not that difficult. They're not a mystery. Do you know what I'm saying? But I will say this. Kenya handled it well. And just like laughed it off like, whatever, girl, whatever. And just kept on giggling. And she couldn't stand the fact that everybody wanted to play with Kenya. Everybody was chasing Kenya around the house. And Kenya made the situation so lighthearted and made the situation so fun. I will also say this. Mark, I believe, is a narcissist. I believe I saw him be on TV, be verbally abusive to Kenya. And Kenya fought and cried. I don't care whether you like Kenya or not. She fought, she cried, she screamed, she did everything she could to save her family and make sure that Brooklyn grew up with her dad in the same house, even to the point of sacrificing herself and her own pride and her own ego to get this man to actually play right. Now, do I think it was a smart idea? No. However, Kenya made that sacrifice. She then decided that, oh no, he's a dark cloud. And actually to save Brooklyn, I need to save myself. The fact that Marlo would throw that in Kenya's face while everybody was having a lighthearted time and Kenya wasn't even coming for Marlo, I said, Marlo, you ain't seeing heaven. Literally, you're not seeing heaven for that. So that is what happened in the review. Let me drop the call-in link. Real quick. Listen, let me drop that call-in link. If you guys want to call in, let's see, want to call in. I will say one thing. So the review's over. Now I'm just going to get on my armchair analysis. I will say one thing. I saw this analogy in Real Housewives of Atlanta that can literally be stretched out to talk about like culture and society. You know how the same women and men Because there's this misnomer that if a man's not, if you don't have a child for a father for the child, actually, like, you know, the father in the house, then the child's going to grow up to be nothing and this and that and blah, 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 blah. And they will do it to the point that they will even have a no good man in the house doing psychological damage to the mother and the children because it's like, oh, you need that. I feel like it's that same mindset that it's like you need a man at all costs. It don't matter if this man's cheating on you. It don't matter if this man got one leg and he uses cane to beat you with the other. It don't mind if he is blind, deaf, or dumb. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. As long as you got a man in the house or a man on your arm, you're winning. I so literally was watching it and I was like, yeah, the same people that believe that, and the same people, it's like, it don't matter if the dad is emotionally abusive. It don't matter if the dad is abusive. It doesn't matter. You need that father in the house. I hope one day we break ourselves from these chains. Yes, the goal is, of course, to have two loving parents. The more that are there to raise and love a child, the merrier. But one loving parent always did the job, right? Always did the job. There we go. Let's get into this. Hey, Mrs. P, what is going on? Let me just fix that screen. How you doing, Mrs. P?
Hey, Tisa, how you doing? Thank you for taking me.
Oh, of course, of course. What's going on? Wait, really quick before you start, Mrs. T. I'm sorry. I just want to say, Star. I want to give Star a big, big, big thank you for being a member of Tattletales for 8 months. Thank you so much. And also, I saw TG. Looks like we got an anniversary for my dear TG. Hold on. TG says, put the preview next week when Candy says you need to get a man before you tell me about a man. Okay, that's a good point, TJ. Candy did say that. She definitely did say that. But like, honestly, Marlo, like, that was a read. That was a read. That was a read. That was a read, TJ. That was definitely a read. I'm trying to find your comment. That was a read. But the funny thing is about Marlo, you're sitting there talking trash about Candy and Todd, and Candy and Todd just keep winning. I mean, don't get me wrong. Marlo, again, her reads don't land. Candy and Todd, that might have been a read when Candy was dating Todd and Todd was a production assistant, but they have actually expanded Candy's empire since then. And they got two adorable little kids. So again, I was like, this just don't land. It don't land. It don't land. It don't land. All right, so go on, Mrs. P. What was your thoughts on everything?
So, Tisa, what I'm going to say is I have a 14-year-old, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a single mom. All right. I don't really call it single because I can have all the help I want. All right. So you single when you just don't have no help, in my opinion. All right.
True.
But I mean, I kind of get Marlo not putting them out. She probably should have just cussed them out. But the clothes that she put on the show, she had just taken them to the washing machine, the laundromat. But I was kind of confused why she went to the laundromat. Like, she don't have a washer and dryer in her house. But I was confused on that. But they threw why would you bring the wet clothes home from the laundromat?
Why would Marlo do that?
No, one of the nephews did that.
Well, listen, here's the thing. I mean, I'll just say it, right? I was a very lovable, talented.
The other young lady must need to mute her phone.
Oh, Nikki, let me mute you really quick, Nikki. I know my parents are probably like, girl, but as you can tell, my parents like gave me like a high opinion of myself. I was a very lovable, precocious, intellectually curious child. I was very talkative and chatty. I was also dirtier than dirty. I would take showers. When I came out the house, like my hair was done, my eyeliner was laid. But if you went into my room, that shit looked like the 27th level of Dante's Inferno, the 27th level of hell. So to the point of there had to be like housekeepers and stuff that came in and actually handled that. Now, again, I suffer from ADHD, but even then, even if I was just regular old dirty, who cares, Marlo? You have money to hire a housekeeper. Do kids listen, as a kid that would do dumb stuff like that? Because I did. I don't know. It made sense at the time. But to put somebody out over having some wet clothes and you are literally wearing at any given time 50,000 in clothes, I don't want to hear it. That's like people like people's kids not graduating high school, but you got like a vacation villa in the south of France. Why didn't you put that money into goddamn tutors and make sure your child graduated? Again, especially considering what those boys are going through, when I see people that are in a state of disarray, whether it's looking a hot mess, whether it is a dirty room, whether it is a dirty house, I don't look at them as like, oh my God. I look at it as like, you are really going through something mentally. For whatever reason, you do not have the mental capacity or the esteem for yourself to believe that you deserve a clean place. If anything, when those boys took it home from the laundry, why didn't Marlo be like, babes, you can't do that. Get in the car, bag that shit up again, get in the car. I'm taking you guys to the laundry and I'm going to sit here while you guys dry and fold the clothes. Is it annoying? Yes. Is it inconvenient? Yes. But to me, that's part of parenting. It is. It is part of parenting. And on top of that, your mom's in jail, all this stuff's going on. I see what you're saying, but I do feel like Marlo could have more compassion, because Marlo says half of the mistakes she made in life is from her acting out. But to me, having wet clothes, a dirty house, all that stuff, that's stuff that I'm like, a housekeeper can fix. Literally, so I can pay somebody $20 an hour, just work some overtime and pay somebody to come in and wash those clothes. Marlo got an assistant. I'll send my assistant to do that. The real issue to me is, why are you doing that? You know what I'm saying? And Marlo, for her to tape and film that and embarrass them and not even think maybe they're actually in a bad mental space because they're all the stuff that's going on and they got cameras in their face and it's a lot for teenage years. I don't know. I just thought that was real insensitive about Marlo. But then again, I'm not the be all. Hey, everything Tammy, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that. Nikki, really quick, Nikki, what is your take on this, mama?
I didn't like the fact that Marlo videotaped the children.
I agree. Tell me why did you like that?
I didn't like that. You know what it reminded me of? Like the mothers that be embarrassing their kids when they act up and they post it on Facebook.
Yeah, that is exactly the energy. Now, Andy Moore says, a dirty house is inexcusable. How hard is it to put some Dawn soap on some dishes? Listen, Andy, I get the way you feel. And who wouldn't want to have a clean house? But when you literally spend literally $10,000 on a pair of boots, hire somebody to clean the house. Hire somebody to clean the house. As a matter of fact, you can hire someone to walk behind the boys and make sure they clean the house and actually teach them the habits that they know. Marlo was crying about her sister being on drugs. How do you know those boys even learned how to clean? How do you know those boys even learned how to? I'm serious. If you are dealing with their mom and their mom is everything that Marlo says she is, then maybe they didn't even grow up learning how to clean. Maybe they don't know that the clothes are supposed to go in the dryer. Maybe they were going to school with mildew clothes. I don't know. You're assuming that these boys were taught. And I don't care what anybody says. We were all taught, right, to keep things clean. With me, it never really stuck. But what did my parents do? They gave me the tools that now I can pay somebody to do it. So I don't need to worry about like cleaning up after myself. But what I'm saying is, you are taught that stuff. And maybe the boys weren't ever taught.
And did she explain to them, did she explain to them after you wash your clothes in the in the washing machine, you gotta dry them right after? Did she explain that to them?
She might have. She didn't do it on camera. Mrs. P, what's your comment in? I saw you.
Now, you know what? I, as a mom of a 14-year-old, I've been threatening my daughter since before school let out. You need to go stay with your dad for like a week or two. She got 3 older sisters. Like, you need to go ahead and do you a little tour. All right. It's no way. Those boys are at least 11, 12, and 14, somewhere around that age. Yeah. It's no way you need to bring home no wet clothes from come on now. I get it. I definitely get it that, the boys were like, they are going through something emotional. And so is Marlo. So we're not going to take away from her emotional pain.
What's Marlo going through?
That's her sister. You see, your sister won't get the help that she needs. You see your sister in pain. Come on. I mean, your sister she won't get right even for her kids.
Marlo
As
ain't
a
even paying
sibling, I mean, as a sibling who has a sister who, you know, is going through a lot of stuff, right? And she has 3 kids, and I help support those kids.
for. Okay.
It is very painful to see your sister go through that too. So she is, and then she has never been a mom, and count on being a mom. They were locked down for 2 years together, continuously, because they were on, but because of the pandemic.
Mhm.
Then the little young man, what he did was she took his iPad from him. She hid it in her room. And he went through her room and found the iPad. That is what
Okay.
she said. That is why she said, "Do I need to lock my door?" Because she hit, and I take my daughter's her gadgets too. But with my daughter, I'm gonna leave them right where I take them, and I leave them right there. You better not touch them. But my same niece, whose mom is going through something, I will take her electronics and I'll put them up.
Okay. Hey, House
So
of Glam. Hold on really quick. House of Glam said Marlo has had those boys on record for at least 3 years. Even if they weren't taught to do something, one would hope after 3 years they would understand what she expects in her household. That's a good point. But I will say this, those boys are not dogs. And when children disappoint you, especially if that was Marlo's own flesh and blood, you don't just put them out and you don't take their filth on national TV. That is an invasion of privacy. What if those boys actually went and taped Marlo when she ain't have her wig on and didn't have Gucci, Prada, all this stuff, and taped her yelling at them and then put it up? Would y'all have that same feeling? Like the fact that you are, and not even that they are kids, you know how mean kids can be. I understand what you're saying, Mrs. P, about she's thinking about her sister, she's thinking that, but I find it a
Yeah.
disturbing, and this isn't even, I'm just gonna mute everybody until you guys your turn to talk, but I find it a disturbing trend, and this isn't against you, Mrs. P. You make really good points, but I find it a disturbing trend that as well, I can only speak of Black people because I'm Black. In our community, we rob our children of their childhood sometimes. Why is Marlo's feelings on the same level with a young life of 14 years old? I don't care what those kids are still developing. They are still literally sponges for trauma and for happiness. Marlo is a fully formed woman. She is an adult with autonomy and money in her account. Those are 14-year-old boys that literally have gone through hell and they do not have any autonomy and they look for everything from Marlo, the same way they would as their mom. They look for their food, they look for their money, they look for their, and just like kids will lash out at their moms and not listen to their moms, and you'll be like, oh my God, they're driving me crazy. It's the same way those 14-year-old boys are. The only thing is, I feel like Marlo showed them that her love is very, very conditional. And is Marlo perfect? No, but I think it's dangerous when you show children that love is conditional. Love should not be at the expense of whether your room's clean, whether you're washing clothes, whether anything like that. If we can show mercy to a deadbeat man that don't even take you out to Applebee's, why, and as a community, is it not acceptable to show mercy to kids that are actually fully dependent on you? And just because Marlo started in the gutter and had to fight her way out, I know Marlo has horror stories from that. Why would Marlo want that for her nephews? I'm sorry. So ranting with Ricardo, and then we'll go to Adam Lee Etheridge, and then we'll go back to Nikki, the Mrs. P. Ranting with Ricardo. What do you think of this?
Of the Marlo situation.
Yeah.
Marlo, as I'm going to say to you later when I go off on you in my review of this entire episode, you are a selfish batch. I'm not going to use the I, I'm going to use the A. You're a selfish batch who took on the responsibility of your nephews because your sister unfortunately has her own mental health issues and then she has her own criminal issues, so she could not be there as a full-time mother to her own children, and she is now in prison. So you did something unselfish and took on the responsibility of them, but you were truly selfish because you felt like it became too much and you've become overwhelmed. So you threw them out and gave them to your sister, who has her words, not mine, has 4 toddler children. And you sent 2 more children to her home for her to take care of for 30 days, whether it was a storyline or true or not. You sent them to her home when she already has 4 kids that she's taking care of herself because you needed a break. Mothers every single day need a break. Parents and guardians every single day need a break because it becomes too much for them. And they don't get to do what you did because that's called abandonment. And they can go to jail for that.
Exactly. So I also want to say thank you very much to Dr. Payne Nestor. Girl, we are always on the same page. Shout out to my Torian queen, right? Dr. Payne Nestor says, I super agree with you. I don't like the toxic overboard with discipline. Throw the baby out with the bathwater approach. I hate that. I hate that too. And like people can scoff and roll their eyes, but like my parents were firm with me in some ways, but very lenient in others. The only thing they demanded is that I did well in school. But otherwise than that, it was like, I mean, I could do whatever I wanted to. You could say I was raised by wolves. Really quick, Adam Lee Etheridge, I want to hear what you have to say on the situation. And thank you so much for that super chat, Dr. Payne Nestor. Adam, what do you have to say? Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry. Do I have
my mic is okay. My mic was muted. So sorry, I had never done this before. I'm very nervous. I'm still have like, autistic. Liquid says autism in the brain. I'm very autistic, by the way. I'm sorry.
Listen, we are all neurodivergent. Welcome to the team. Welcome to the club.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I agree with I agree with what you say about Marlo and the abandonment issues, by the way. It's just, it's crazy. It's very scary.
What part really gets to you?
Everything what you said to the other person, by the way, and also the abandonment issues.
Yeah. Okay. And if you were Marlo, how do you think she could have did better?
I think she would have never actually, abandoned her nieces and nephews and her own children, by the way. I think we should, do the right things and follow the right path and step the right path.
That's actually really poignant. Like you said, like that's a good point. Everybody's making excuses for why Marlo did what she did, but we all know what the right path is. And like you said, she just needs to do the right thing.
She needs to do better. And she needs a lifesaver's help. So
no, I agree with you. That's actually that's a good point. Like we're all making excuses, but Marlo knows what the right thing is. We all know what the right thing is. And it's just excuses as to why she acted like that. Somebody said Marlo needs to Kardashian her kids to just show up when it's time to film.
Well, this is not even a conspiracy thing, but I was catfished by the Kardashian Jenner family members before 4 years ago. By the way,
you were. I'm sorry. What you were? What?
Catfished, literally.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow!
And Scott just saw me in Unison, Tennessee.
And what happened?
Oh, they found out who I really was. So by Scott just his own word.
Oh really? Huh.
Yeah.
Well,
both my friends actually know it.
Oh, sorry to interrupt. Go on.
But yeah, both my friends actually know about what happened though.
Oh,
and also there's a fake. There's also a fake romantic relationship between Zanico and someone going on. By the way, I get cheated on by Zania. So.
Well, you know what? We'll talk about the Kardashians offline. Spellhouse, aka Esquire, said that you made a very, very good point. Let's come back to Nikki. Thank you so much, Adam. I'm just going to mute you really quick and go on to Nikki, and then we'll do Nikki, Miss P, Randy with Ricardo, and of course, Adam. Just D, I thought I saw you, but you keep clicking out, want to call in. Just D, if you are there, go on and call in. Of course, House
Yeah.
of Glam. Hold on really quick. Let me just mute you and we'll go back to Nikki. What's going on, Nikki? What's your thoughts? I want to actually ask also, what's your thoughts on with Marlo, but also what's your thoughts on what's going on with Drew? And I really one of the things Drew is getting on their last nerve this season. Anyone?
Hello?
Okay, Mrs. P.
Yeah, but it looks so. Oh my goodness, Drew looked like a cat caught, a dead caught in headlights when they was like Danielle. That's my. They've all met her, but why she using his last name?
That was so embarrassing, and I loved every moment of it. Listen, you can say what you want. I love. I literally love the way Fatum embarrassed Drew. Actually embarrassed her because Drew was the first person to throw people's business out in the street, did this and that. And Fatum was like, well, actually, I did a background check on you. That just cracked me up for some reason.
Drunk Kenya brought it up.
Exactly. And Kenya was like, wait. So who's Danielle? I love Drunk Kenya. Drunk Kenya is the funny Kenya. Listen, really quickly also, what did you think about, did anybody think that Candy actually made some points with Marlo and if everything that she was actually saying to her? You guys can unmute your mics whenever you guys are ready. Sheree, stop, pause. We need to talk about Sheree. What is Sheree doing crying, talking about, and here's the thing. I like Sheree a lot. I know I drag her, but I like Sheree, and I'm glad she's back on Housewives. But that said, let the dragging commence. Sheree crying, talking about, he stole from me just like he stole from those people. And I was like, imagine that. You're a criminal that stole and lied and cheated and swindled, and you are shocked that
He got her basement done, girl. He got her basement done.
And I'm not fooling with Sheree. I skipped over when I saw that was going to be her crying scene in a little blue dress and everything.
Right.
I was like, the dress is cute, but I hate the hair. I was like, I'm going to skip over it because I know fake tears when I see them. I went to school for production and I got to watch the people when we put on our own stuff and had to write it up, how they had to fake cry, and I said they did better than you. And I was like, them was college students. You a grown woman, please stop crying. That man is a felon.
Yeah.
You knew he was a felon. He stole money. He probably stole money to help you fix that basement up, which gets me into the whole Drew thing. I was like, this would be a key. It would be a key if it was, I'm hanging around these people and I want to know who I'm hanging around, so I want to get a background check. Fatum, girl, you got drunk at the tea party. It was a tea party. I don't know why. I don't know why y'all decided to have drinks at that tea party, but go up for the girls because you got to have some drama. You got drunk at that tea party and you start spilling the stuff that you knew, and that got on her, like that made her upset because she was talking about her husband being gay. And it's like, I don't like y'all talking about people's sexuality. Their sexuality is their sexuality. If they gonna tell it, let them tell it and let that be that. Stop trying to out people if that's what's going on. But y'all have to realize when Fatum was doing all that, Sheree was reaching across the table, talking about don't do it, don't say nothing, because Sheree didn't want them to know that the same thing she was mad at Drew for, and the same thing she was calling Candy a bad friend for, she was doing the same exact thing. You spreading all this information towards people, and you got upset that Drew said something to you and got buck with you. Should she have gotten this buck with you as she did? No, but you was talking about her husband, and people take that seriously. I don't have one of those, but people take it real serious when you start to question, about their husbands. So you felt like she tried you. You felt some type of way, and you went and or you had your little friend do a background check on her, and she got multiple aliases. Her husband got multiple aliases, and I'm like, well, I need to really see this for myself to even believe it, because how do I not know that this is a scheme that Todd set up with the help of Marlo? How we know that's not what this is? Fatum, girl, it would be a key. It would be a key if you did this because you hanging around people and you just want to know who it is. You got mad that you got called out for, being drunk, tipsy, spreading information you weren't supposed to. And for the people around, like, not saying everybody should feel this type of way, but y'all would feel some type of way too if this person just out of nowhere decided, because they decided to say something about your husband and you went up for your husband that one time in front of everybody, even though they feel like that lady don't defend her raggedy ass husband. Sorry, don't mean to cuss on your platform, but he is raggedy and he's the ops towards her. That, it's just like, oh, you have to let her talk or you have to pay attention to her. No, she doesn't, because what she told her was she gonna keep coming for her. And it's just like, for what? For what? For K? What did she do to you? Really, if you was thinking about these background checks, why wasn't you background checking that felon who with your friend, and now you're giving her coochie incense to get his, lackluster peen off of her?
But Sheree,
Right.
go on, Adam.
Sheree, who you talking about a felon?
What's that?
By the way, who you talking? Who's the felon? By the way,
Tyrone, Sheree's
Tyrone.
boyfriend.
Okay.
Tyrone, yeah.
Tyrone.
Okay.
I call him the felon.
Oh yeah, he's like Ken Spinny. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. No, Sheree called him a crook.
I heard. Wait, I heard what happened. No.
Yeah,
He
and
got 15 months. By the way, we're not registering as a sex offender.
definitely. Yeah. I will say this. I disagree with you about the Fatum thing. Drew was always trying to have a moment. Listen, this is the type of friend I am, and I'll just let you know. If I see you going in on my friend or my family, then girl, we windmilling you. I'm coming with the heat from the side, and I don't care if I don't got nothing to do with it. You literally just tap me in. We are combined as one in spirit. When I feel her spirit hurt, I jump in. And
wow.
Tap me in.
That's the thing.
That's the type of friend I am. So I understand why she started coming at Sheree. We all know Sheree is super sensitive about her finances. You went for her. I saw my girl's mouth quiver on the side, and I tapped in and said, let's talk about your gay husband. Since you want to talk about what the assistant saying, the assistant is saying that your husband's gay. And yes, I would have went there. And then Drew got her back, but it's almost like Drew.
Me too.
Like there's no boundaries. You really can't get mad when people come back in with that. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And honestly, and here's
we're combined as our souls are one. I felt her pain.
And that's the thing. And that's the thing. It was just like, I'm the type of friend that you're not finna come for my friend if I'm standing right next to you. And I said it would have been a key if right after the whole situation, like, honestly, let's be clear, the tea party was like, it's a good time between slumber party and tea party. And I was like, it would have been a key, because I was just like, I would have, like, what's this information? But you also have to think about how they've been building up to this slumber party. And unfortunately, editing and the way people have been coming for this lady have made me, endeared to her. And I don't like it. It's not sitting right in my...
Drew Fedora?
Child, I'm sick of the editing and how it's just like the people just keep coming for her. I'm like, please stop doing this. Y'all are making me want to.
Y'all sympathizer. Okay,
no.
Okay.
Y'all are making me trying to be nice to the lady, and it's just like I had to get her together last episode with that trash advice she gave. But it's just like y'all keep doing this, especially with how editing works. It's going to endear more people to her, and it's just like that's not what y'all want. That's not like
because I'm like, get her for two.
Right. For you, it's not working, but for most people, like on Twitter, it's working. And it's just like, if that's not what y'all are trying to do, if that's not what y'all are trying to give, because y'all are endearing people to Marlo with her trashness and what she did to the nephews. Not all of us. This is what they're trying to do. It's what they tried to. I said this is what they tried to do. Not all of us, because it's not me, because I see her for what she is. But it didn't work for what she did to those nephews. They tried before in her storyline of she's taking care of the nephews and she's trying to be there for them because their mother can't. And she's doing all of this and it's not working. But with the whole Drew situation, it's just like, please stop. If y'all gonna keep calling her out about all the stuff she does, then you have to stop with the way the editing works and the way that some of the cast members go at her, because it then makes people want to defend her. And it's just like, once again, it would have been a key because I want to know what y'all do for business too, because I'm trying to figure out where is the money coming from.
Okay, hold that thought. Prosperity, what's up,
Yeah.
girl? How you doing?
Hey,
No prosperity.
Hey,
I'm sorry, what's
Prosperity.
that, Adam?
hey
Hold
everyone.
on, Adam. What were you saying, Adam?
I say, what's up, prosperity?
Hi.
Yeah. Okay, Prosperity.
Hey,
Hey everybody. And I feel
Yes,
like Drew's
all right,
kind of getting back what she did last season too.
Yeah.
So, Prosperity, what's your take on all this stuff with the Marlo?
First, I got to give you your props because you saying that Candy is going to come out with coochie incense next. You know I tweeted that, right?
No, Candy is
Right.
there, right? So Candy was standing there taking notes like, so how's this work? Again, this is Candy's bread and
Right.
butter. She is a connoisseur.
Yeah.
She is what do you call it? A student.
I have a name for it.
Like, yeah.
I'm tweeting that, and you know I give you your credit anyway.
She
so
should
that-
come out with one
that don't
called
gotta be
candy
said.
coated vaginal steam.
No,
Yep.
candy coated coochie incense like
Candy
said.
should come out with that.
The
Okay,
incense.
but here's the thing. Really quick. I just
Yeah.
wait, hold on, Prosperity. I want to hear what you have to say, but I do want to put this out here and then let me know what you think. A lot of people say that Drew is acting like a victim because Drew keeps wanting to change the truth, right? She wants to change the narrative, act like she didn't say this, act like she doesn't know what's going on. And one of the reasons that frustrates her so much is she doesn't have control of editing. So I get what everybody's saying. I don't see where the sympathy from Drew is coming from, maybe, but Prosperity, weigh in on what you think of Marlo, what you think is going on with Drew, and then we're gonna go to Justine. What's up, Justine? How you doing, Mama? So Prosperity, go. You got the mic.
Marlo is trash. Even if she's doing it for a storyline, to put them kids in that and to make them even lie and or to look like they still got to go to school. They still got friends. So she's trash for doing that from the circumstances that she came from. You never should put a child in a place that you were. Every parent or Monty, if you're going to take on a parent role, you want your kids to have better than you ever had. You don't do the same things to them that your parents did to you. I want her off my screen. I don't like her. I don't want her back next season. She's doing way too much. She's been doing too much the whole season. This sympathy thing is on my last nerve. It's not about the kids. It's all about me. Drew, child. Isn't it funny that she has she got all these aliases, but she played herself on the game?
Oh my God.
Like, what?
That's a good one.
Make that make sense. It's giving scammer vibes. It's giving scammer. And your husband's a scammer too. Wreck-It Ralph, he's a scammer. He probably the one that got you scammed. You probably was legit before you got with him. Now he got you scammed.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Wait,
Yeah,
Prosperity.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Wait, Prosperity. You know I love you, but that's not who started her on the scamming. They said it was the baby daddy who started her on the scamming. And I'm talking about the oldest kid's daddy.
She needs to stop. It's not a good look. She can't keep up with her storylines. She dignified her assistant because he writes her he tried to give her reads. That's what he's there for, to give her reads, but they don't land because he's not a good reader either. We done seen him on how many shows? He can't do it.
Anthony.
Kenya. But I mean, Candy, why did she feed into Marlo? I'd have looked at her and be like, so you gave the kids up? F you and all that you stand for. What sympathy am I supposed to give you? All my sympathy is going to the kids because you brought them in your house. You spoiled them. You let them think that living in the lap of luxury was everything. They see how you live, but then when they expect the same thing from you, you put them out. What?
Yeah.
You created these monsters. These kids wasn't used to having these type of things when they were living with their mother. You did all of this. But now when it get too much for you, you're going to put them out? Girl, bye. I'm glad Kenya ain't give her no moment. I'm glad Kenya was the moment. She always is the moment. And Marlo can't stand it. Drew, why you had to say something to Sonya? She's irritating. I want her and Drew. I want Marlo and Drew in the unemployment line next season. I cannot do it.
And throw
They're
Sonya in
irritating
there while
me.
you at it.
Yeah.
And throw Sonya
That's why
in there
I
too.
said Sonya, Marlo, and Yeah, I need them gone.
Sonya,
Sonya,
Marlo,
on.
Sheree,
yeah, I need her
Drew.
gone.
Hold on.
I need her
I
gone.
actually like the energy Sonya adds. I feel like she blends seamlessly. Drew,
Mm-mm.
And
Drew
she's
doesn't have a storyline besides beefing
Not
with
really.
people.
Mm-mm.
I feel Sonya,
and
I kind of,
Sonya
I
doesn't
don't
have a
know with
storyline
her.
either. Drew is her storyline plus this baby thing that she said, and she just did her home. She showed her home on Bravo.com. She just said a baby might be coming. So her homo, she don't want to have a baby because she don't want to give up her career. Is a storyline. It's not real. Unless her husband won, one of the two, but she sure said we might be having a baby real soon. We don't know. We'll see. So
Hold up.
all these people are fake, and all their storylines are fake, except for the ones that been there because they don't have a storyline either. But we are endeared to them, so we want to see what's going on with them. But these other three can go, and Sheree.
Okay, but here's the thing. Everything Tommy says, remember when Marlo said her nephews were jumping on her back? Lol. She was like, girl, stop it.
Like what?
I remember that at the reunion. Well, and for the lipo, my nephews
Yeah,
jumped
when
on
she
my
come my
back.
back hurt, girl, shut
Yeah. Listen,
up.
Sonya does be flip flopping, but every new person does. Like, she was cool with Drew, then Drew bit her back. Listen, I'll just say this: Drew gets on my damn nerves.
You get on my nerve too.
Drew gets on my nerves, and I guess that's all there is to it. So, and here's the thing with Drew: it's like, can you just stop? Like, literally, you just say like, "Hey, what's up?" And she's like, "What you mean?" Okay, girl, stop it. You are literally looking for a moment, a moment. Meanwhile, Kenya is like lighthearted little fairy giggling through the woods, and we're all like, "Oh, we love Kenya."
Yes,
So
I love me some
I don't
Kenya.
know. I don't listen. I do know that like one of the reasons that Drew's so upset is like they don't they can't stop editing.
She
Drew
don't belong
doesn't
there.
know. But here's the thing: this is how you know Drew was a producer pawn last season. Drew is doing what all OGs do when they think they got editing in their pocket. They create moments, they act random, everything's an issue because they're trying to give the editors a moment that they can make a storyline. I don't think that Drew
Hmm.
realized this season they just left her hanging and she acted crazy, and we're all just like, Drew, let it go. Meanwhile, Drew looks like every single time she sees Sonya, she's just trying to go. But even with the bad edits, Drew is literally acting like she doesn't know what's going on. Like Drew, you were there, you caused it. What you mean? But I don't know. Drew just gets on my nerves. She
I
really,
told
honestly.
y'all when Drew first got on the show, I told y'all every time she's on screen, it looks like somebody says action. And she just
Mhm,
tries to go with it. And then somebody says end scene and it's over with. And she's not good at it at all.
mhm. But I will tell you one thing though, she's not good at it. One thing, this is the last thing I want to talk about. Like Marlo. Marlo is clearly going for the villain edit this season. And
Hmm.
I'll say one thing that Kenya made me realize. Candace too. Like everybody that like people decide, oh, you're the villain. It takes a little pizzazz to be
Hmm.
a villain. And Marlo's reads just fall that flat. I don't want to say it's not that Marlo is stupid because she's not, but she's not that like she's not a reader. Like
At
Marlo,
all.
yeah, like Marlo, she's just not a reader. Like there's no jokes. Like when she reads people, it's too hate filled. There's no, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It's like
Like
it's just
Marlo is the you can't get it because you ain't got it. Point blank. You ain't
yeah,
got the
it's like
reasons. You ain't got
she's
none of
just
that.
too mean spirited, so it lands too heavy. Like you're just like, whatever. That's why you're with Crooked, and Marlo's like, that's why your mom never loved her, and you never gonna be anything, and that's why you on drugs, and can we go with like the little
But then
subtle
when
things?
somebody say something to her, she cry.
Yeah, Marlo, that's what it is. Marlo doesn't know how to shade people. She just goes for the jugular like a trained assassin. Like I just said, good morning. You ain't have to end me.
Well, she
So
knows she used to slice faces for fun.
the
So
what?
that's her. You know she used to slice faces for fun. So that's
Did
her. Have you
she?
seen all her mugshots?
Well, is that I can't speak on that. I don't know the situation or what happened, and let's not talk about that because it actually ended really really tragically. The person deleted themselves. I don't know what happened with that, but I know it
She's a
ended up
horrible
so much.
person.
What's that?
I said that's because she's a horrible person, and she probably went for that jugular too. She's ridiculous.
Well, I don't know if it was connected to what her altercation with Marlo, but I do know that the young woman is no longer with us, and that's like it's a lot. It's a
Oh,
lot.
wow.
It's a lot. But I will say that really quick, sorry. Just gotta block someone real quick. Okay, so I will say that I know, right? I will say so really quick, final thoughts. I want to start with Prosperity, then I want to go to Adam, then we'll go to Nikki, then Miss P, then ranting. And let me know what your thoughts were on this episode. Hold on really quick. Hey Tigeria, 1 second.
Can I say something?
Of course, please do.
All right. Okay. Talking about Düsseldorf, the one that had the cheating rumors between herself, LeBron James, and his wife.
Drew.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, LeBron James and Zendaya Coleman are actually still friends, by the way.
LeBron James and who?
Zendaya.
Oh, they're still friends. Okay.
Yeah, they're still friends. And it turns out me and Zendaya actually texted each other 2 years ago, by the way. She was texting me for messages.
Really?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would have never guessed.
I believe it.
Huh.
I believe it.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
One of my friends invited her to his house, by the way. It's just a friendly, sleepover.
Information.
Thank you for sharing that. And I have a question, Adam. What did you think of this episode on a scale of 1 to 10? How entertained were you?
I was entertained, very, good and great, and everything else. By the way,
Would you say a 7, an 8 level of entertainment?
Going for me on this one.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. And also, Prosperity, what did you think on a scale of 1 to 10?
Kenya made it a 10 for me because anytime that Kenya is having that much fun, it's a good time for me. Just to see her that lighthearted and joking and drunk as hell was the moment and the time for me. I didn't care about nothing else. I just wanted Kenya to keep talking because she gave me my life tonight. And yes, I love Kenya, if y'all did not know.
Listen, I'm a big Kenya fan too, but when she ran through that house giggling like a little forest nymph, I said, I love you, Kenya. Like, I don't know. I like it when people are just funny and giggly and just like full of light. Like, it just,
I just saw her daughter. I could just imagine how her and her daughter play around the house.
Mm-hmm. That's what it was giving me too. I feel like in this world, we got enough to cry about. The world is literally on fire. The world is literally on fire. It's like, I don't need to come and eat dinner and start arguing. Can we just laugh and have a drink? And okay, fine, I hate you too, but we'll talk about it in the morning. Let's just laugh. So,
exactly.
All right. So also, Nikki, what'd you think of everything on a scale of 1 to 10? Nikki? Okay, babe.
Sorry.
Take me off mic.
Okay.
Hello?
Hi, Nikki. What'd you think of everything?
Yeah, I give it I said a 9.5. It was a real good episode.
This is a good season. Like
it gave.
Yeah, it gave.
Yeah.
This was a very, very
And
good
I love I like that Lisa Wu is back.
Why? I mean, I do.
And Kenya Moore, yeah.
Yeah.
I would say Kenya Moore made it for the episode with her lighthearted and her being tipsy.
Yes.
She was drunk.
Definitely.
And not being immune to everything that negative what Marlo was saying.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. Definitely.
Yeah, I felt like they were like, and Marlo was kind of a dark cloud at the party.
And Drew talking about black magic. Girl, get out of here. You need some magic in your life. Come, get on away. You are the dark magic. You are the dark side. You are the dark everything. Party pooper. Jesus.
Girl. Girl.
And I feel like too, Drew is kind of getting back what she put out last season, how she was treating LaToya.
She definitely did. Definitely. But listen, you guys, so sorry to everyone. I actually have to go real quick. I need to go chase down a story. I just got some text. I gotta go chase down the story. Listen, thank you everybody. Of course, Prosperity, Thick Thighs, Nikki, Adam, Lee, Etheridge, Ranting, and Mrs. P. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget, I'm gonna start doing the recaps every day right after the show. And we'll see how everything goes. All right, everyone? And also, let me know in the comments if you guys want me to review Married to Medicine. All right, everybody?
Yes, we do. We do.
Right. Y'all gonna have a review tomorrow for Married for Medicine. All right, y'all. I will talk to y'all later. Bye.
Peace out, y'all.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.